This is Serbia, a landlocked little country tucked away in southeast Europe, right in the heart of the Balkan Peninsula. With only around 7 million people, Serbia's a relatively small player population-wise, but the compensation comes geographically. This place is diverse. We're talking fertile plains up north, rugged limestone ranges and basins over in the east and southeast. The country splits into 4 main regions: Vojvodina in the north, Šumadija in the central area, Pomoravlja eastern side, and Raška way down southwest. This beautiful country has an area of approximately 88,000 square kilometers. To put that into perspective, it's a tiny bit smaller than the US state of Kentucky, or a little larger than Austria. The landscape here is all over the place: rolling hills, rugged mountain ranges, you name it. The highest point is this massive peak called Jerevica, towering at 2,656 meters above sea level down in the southern region. To have a better grasp of why Serbians live the way they do, it's important to know more about life here through Serbia's incredible history and culture. This place has origins dating way back to the 7th century when Slavic tribes first settled in the Balkans. A couple centuries later in the 9th, the Serbs set up shop with their very own Serbian principality. That whole operation leveled up in the 1200s into the full-fledged Serbian kingdom under the Nemanjić dynasty. Then in the 1300s, Serbia was just killing the game with its golden age led by Stefan Dušan and his massive Serbian empire stretching all the way from the Danube to the Gulf of Corinth. After Dušan's passing, the empire started crumbling until Serbia got taken over by the Ottomans in 1459. That Ottoman rule dragged on for like 4 centuries. Finally, in the 1800s, the Serbian Revolution broke out and kicked off the establishment of the new Principality of Serbia in 1815. A few decades later, in 1878, Serbia was recognized as an independent state at the Congress of Berlin. You know that led to getting involved in starting World War I after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo by a Serbian nationalist in the early 1900s. After WW1, Serbia joined up with the other South Slavic states to form the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats and Slovenes, later renamed Yugoslavia. Unfortunately, that led to WWW2 and the Nazi invasion, where Yugoslavia and Serbia got occupied by German forces. Post-war from 1945, Serbia existed as part of Tito's Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. But we all know how that turned out. Yugoslavia broke up violently in the 1990s after a bunch of wars and conflicts. Serbia finally regained full independence in 2006 when Montenegro dipped out of the union between the two countries. These days, Serbia is a parliamentary republic just trying to get into the European Union. Its culture is heavily influenced by that ridiculously rich history, Slavic roots, and Orthodox Christian traditions. When it comes to entertainment, Serbian is not left behind. One of its most iconic traditions is its folk music known as Sevdalinka. This musical expression runs deep in the Serbian people's soul, reflecting their emotions and connection to the land. Traditional instruments like the gusle and tamburita play a crucial role in this musical tradition, often accompanied by dance. Every August is the world-famous Guča Trumpet Festival with trumpet players and fans coming from everywhere. Then you have dope events celebrating shepherding traditions like Dragačevo Shepherd's Weekend, or parties like Smederevo Great Ball, which is basically one big wine fest, because Serbian wine is too good not to discuss. These folks have been making wine since ancient Roman days. The varied landscapes from Vojvodina's fertile plains to the hilly Šumadija and mountainous east provide that premium terroir. Serbian wines are distinct, thanks to those local grape varieties: Prokupac, Smederevka, Kadaka for the reds, Riesling, Chardonnay, Tamjanika for whites. One sip of those local flavors and you're hooked. Speaking of being hooked, the Serbian food scene is next level. Heavy Ottoman and Mediterranean influences with all the grilled meats, veggies, dairy. It's a vibe. You gotta try pljeskavica, a grilled patty with pork, beef, lamb stuffed in lapinja flatbread topped with that roasted red pepper, eggplant garlic sauce called kajsija. Or cevapcici, those little beef and lamb sausages with roasted red pepper, ajvar and onions. The iconic Gibanica cheese pie layered with feta, eggs, phyllo dough. Breakfast or dessert doesn't matter, it slaps. But the real iconic national dish has to be çobanak, the legendary shepherd's stew. This hearty meat and veggie stew originated from literal shepherds cooking it over fires while tending flocks. The slow cook method allows those rich flavors to just marry perfectly. It's served with lapinja flatbread or that roasted red pepper garlic spread kajsija on the side. Not just delicious, but çobanak represents true Serbian hospitality. It's what locals make for guests as a warm welcome. Of course, you can't talk Serbian culture without the spiritual side. This is a predominantly Christian nation where the Serbian Orthodox Church has been deeply woven into identity and traditions since the 9th century. Beautiful Orthodox monasteries and churches packed with art, literature, cultural heritage are all over. Some are full-blown UNESCO World Heritage Sites like the breathtaking 12th century Studenica Monastery with its Byzantine-inspired design and preserved frescoes. Stari Ras, the first medieval Serbian capital, with the nearby Sopoćani Monastery and its incredible frescoes marking the birthplace of medieval Serbian art and culture. Then Dečani Monastery from the 1300s, an architectural and fresco painting masterpiece that's still an important spiritual center for Serbs today. Major religious festivals and holidays like Christmas, Easter and Slava, the family's patron saint day, are straight-up vibrant affairs. Expect religious processions, feasting, cultural performances, the whole 9 yards celebrating their beliefs and traditions. But Serbian culture goes beyond just the spiritual side. You've got iconic landmarks like Belgrade Fortress overlooking the Sava and Danube rivers merging. This ancient fortress is basically the symbol of Belgrade, a testament to the city's deep history and strategic importance over the centuries. Up in northern Serbia, the Fruška Gora mountain range is home to tons of Serbian Orthodox monasteries, each one architecturally unique and culturally significant in its own way. Then every year, the world-famous Guča Trumpet Festival goes down, celebrating Serbia's brass band musical roots. Musicians and fans come from all over the globe for this epic trumpet extravaganza. The road network is the backbone, around 16,000 kilometers of paved highways, national and regional roads crisscrossing the country. The E75 highway running north to south is key, connecting Serbia to neighbors like Hungary, North Macedonia, and Greece. New modern highways are being built and existing roads renovated, though rural areas still need work. Rail system is well developed at 3,600 kilometers with electrified and high-speed lines. Main rail lines link major cities like Belgrade, Novi Sad, Niš, Subotica, plus international connections. National rail company Železnica Serbia operates it all, upgrading infrastructure with new trains and signaling despite recent challenges. Air travel runs through Nikola Tesla Airport in Belgrade, the biggest international hub, plus Niš Constantine the Great, and Morava Airport in Kraljevo. National airline Air Serbia flies to major European and global destinations, complemented by other international airlines. The Danube River's 588-kilometer stretch is vital for inland water transportation, linking Serbia to riverside European nations. Port of Belgrade is the major cargo hub, mostly for bulk goods like agriculture and raw materials. City public transit consists of bus, tram, trolleybus systems in Belgrade and Novi Sad, with Belgrade having an extensive network and a metro under development. Taxis and rideshares available too. Serbia is one of only 4 countries in the world with a breed of horse named after it, the Serbian trotter. This breed was developed in the late 19th century and is prized for its endurance and elegant trot. The Serbian trotter has been bred specifically for its trotting abilities, making it a valued breed for various purposes, including harness racing and agricultural work. Sports also play a significant role in Serbian life, with football, basketball, water polo, and tennis being particularly popular. Serbia has produced numerous world-class athletes, including tennis stars like Novak Djokovic and Ana Ivanovic. The country has a strong basketball tradition, with the Serbian national team winning silver medals at the 2016 Rio Olympics and the 2014 FIBA World Cup. Additionally, Serbia is renowned for its production of raspberries, ranking as one of the world's leading exporters of this fruit. Now let's explore the city of Belgrade. It's the capital city and stands as a thriving hub of artistic expression, with its theaters, operas, and concert halls attracting internationally acclaimed performers. The city's music scene pulsates with the diverse rhythms of folk, pop, and rock genres, further enriching its cultural landscape. Belgrade's unique fusion of history, culture, and urban energy renders it a must-visit destination for travelers seeking to immerse themselves in the heart of Serbian culture. As the sun sets, Belgrade transforms into a vibrant stage of entertainment and revelry, renowned for its lively and diverse nightlife that draws visitors from around the globe. Along the banks of the Danube and Sava rivers, a concentration of floating bars, nightclubs, and clubs offer a unique atmosphere, where immersive music, dance, and stunning views of the illuminated cityscape converge. Beyond these waterfront establishments, Belgrade streets and squares host a vibrant nightlife scene, with neighborhoods like Savamala and Skardalia standing out for their lively cafes, themed pubs, and concert venues that attract crowds eager for entertainment. Music is a central element of Belgrade's nightlife, with an eclectic scene spanning Serbian folk rhythms, techno, house, and rock genres. Visitors can indulge in live performances, music festivals, and even participate in traditional dance classes. The beauty and allure of Serbian women are renowned worldwide. These women possess physical features that elevate them to the realm of artistic masterpieces, characterized by their clear, luminous skin, expressive eyes ranging from blue to green hues, and dark, silky tresses. Serbian women exude a captivating elegance. Their slender, athletic statures, complemented by gentle curves and elegant postures, further enhance their allure. Beyond their physical beauty, Serbian women are celebrated for their intelligence, education, and sophistication, with many achieving success as professionals across various fields, including science, technology, arts, and politics. This remarkable combination of beauty, intellect, and charisma renders Serbian women admired and desired globally, carrying an aura of mystery and sensuality that inspires and captivates. It's no surprise that Serbian women are a step ahead of those you will find in Europe, the US, and Australia. These women are renowned for their warm hospitality and gracious manners. Their friendly and welcoming nature leaves a lasting impression on visitors to the country. When planning a visit to Serbia, it is crucial to understand the cost of living to ensure proper budgeting and gain insight into the standard of living of the local population. In 2024, the minimum wage in Serbia is approximately 62,000 Serbian dinars per month, equivalent to around 570. While this amount may seem low compared to other European countries, it reflects the overall level of prices and costs within the nation. Rental prices vary considerably based on location and property size. In Belgrade, a one-bedroom apartment in a central area can range from $300 to $500 per month, while smaller cities offer more affordable options, with rents typically ranging between $200 and $350. Regarding food expenses, Serbia offers an excellent cost-benefit ratio. A meal at a local restaurant can cost between $5 and $15, while purchasing basic items at supermarkets and local markets tends to be quite affordable. An average budget of $200 to $300 per month for food is generally considered sufficient for one person. It is important to note that costs can fluctuate based on individual lifestyle and preferences, as is the case in any country. However, overall, Serbia is considered a relatively affordable destination, especially when compared to other European nations. This combination of reasonable cost of living and the country's cultural richness makes Serbia an attractive destination for both visitors and those seeking to establish a long-term residence. Obtaining an entry visa to Serbia is a relatively straightforward process for most visitors. Citizens of many countries, including the United States and members of the European Union, can enter the country with a tourist visa valid for up to 90 days, which can be obtained directly upon arrival, facilitating entry. For those wishing to extend their stay, Serbia offers the possibility of obtaining temporary or permanent residence visas upon arrival in the country. One of the most striking characteristics of Serbia is the warm and welcoming manner in which Serbians receive foreign visitors. This hospitality is a fundamental aspect of the local culture and contributes significantly to creating a memorable travel experience. For those who appreciate nightlife, the clubs and bars of the Serbian capital provide ideal venues. In these spaces, visitors can immerse themselves in captivating music, frenetic dancing, and an atmosphere filled with revelry. From floating clubs to traditional music venues, a myriad of options cater to those seeking an unforgettable night out. In contrast to the nocturnal vibrancy, Serbia's local squares offer a more tranquil and contemplative setting. In these public spaces, it is common to witness groups of elderly individuals gathered, conversing animatedly and enjoying each other's company. This scene evokes a sense of community and tradition, reflecting the slower pace of life and the importance of social bonds within Serbian culture. Strolling through these squares provides an opportunity to observe the daily lives of Serbians, appreciate the historical architecture that surrounds them, and perhaps even engage in casual conversation with local residents. It is through these authentic interactions that visitors can truly experience the essence of Serbia. This interaction is possible since the climate here is favorable. There can be quite a bit of variation in weather conditions from one region to another. This is mainly due to differences in elevation, how close an area is to the sea, and how exposed it is to winds. But generally speaking, Serbia has what we'd call a continental climate. That means cold, relatively dry winters and warm, humid summers. In Belgrade, for example, there's a whopping difference of about 20 degrees between the average temperatures in January and July. The Vojvodina region in the north really exemplifies that continental climate pattern. July temps there average around 27 degrees, while in January it hovers right around the freezing mark at 1 degree Celsius. Up in the mountainous areas though, summer is a bit more mild with average July temps of about 18 degrees Celsius. For the most part, the air masses influencing Serbia's weather come from Eastern and Northern Europe throughout the year. Only occasionally do warmer Mediterranean air masses sneak in from the southeast or south. With the knowledge of the climate in Serbia, your trip will definitely be easier and fun-filled since you... Welcome to Vietnam, a fascinating country in Southeast Asia with beautiful scenery, diverse cultures, and a long history. Shaped like the letter S, this place is quite big, covering more than 331,000 square kilometers. Over 100 million people live here, making it the 15th most populous country in the world. Vietnam is strategically located, sharing borders with China, Laos, and Cambodia. Its coastline along the South China Sea and the Gulf of Thailand connects it to countries like Thailand, the Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia, making it important for trade. In Vietnam, there are two main cities with distinct vibes. The capital, Hanoi, is a busy place where you can see old temples and streets with French buildings next to modern skyscrapers. It's a mix of tradition and modern life, attracting visitors with its lively atmosphere and cultural history. Welcome to Latvia, a land where the number of women outnumbers that of men, leaving most women alone, single, and with an increased need for men who can provide love, pleasure, care, and attention. Latvia, a Baltic nation situated along the eastern Baltic Sea coast, covers an area of 64,589 square kilometers, rendering it one of Europe's smaller countries. Although a small country in Europe, it still has a good number of people living there, around 1.8 million. Well, as you might have guessed, it is not a huge number, but it is a decent amount for a country the size of Latvia. Most of these Latvians live in or near the capital city, Riga. You will learn more about this beautiful city in the later part of this video. But before that, let's try to understand the context for the current demographics regarding the ratio of women to men in the country. And to achieve this, we must delve into its rich history marked by a succession of dramatic events and significant transformations. Latvia first became an independent republic in 1918 after centuries of foreign domination and rule, including periods under the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, Sweden, and the Russian Empire. The newly formed Latvian state had a relatively balanced population between men and women at this time. However, Latvia's demographics were dramatically impacted by World War II and the ensuing Soviet occupation from 1944 to 1991. Hundreds of thousands of Latvian men were killed, went missing, or were deported by Soviet authorities during the war years and decades after. This resulted in a much higher mortality rate for the male population. Even during the Soviet era, many ethnic Russians and other nationalities were encouraged to relocate to Latvia, resulting in an influx of predominantly male migrant workers and military personnel. This further skewed the demographic balance in favor of more women. In the post-Soviet period after regaining independence in 1991, difficult economic circumstances drove many working-age Latvian men to seek employment abroad, once again reducing the male population. It might also interest you to know that statistically, men in Latvia also have lower life expectancies compared to women, with risky jobs, poor lifestyles, and other factors contributing to higher male mortality rates over time. Latvia's population is predominantly composed of Latvians, who constitute approximately 62% of the population. Besides Latvians, there are significant ethnic minorities such as Russians, Belarusians, Ukrainians, and other smaller ethnic groups. Therefore, it's quite common to encounter women with Slavic traits in Latvia. Here in the country, you'll find beautiful women with long blonde hair, smooth skin, eyes as blue as the sea, and surprisingly, they have a keen interest in American citizens. In Latvia, the ratio of women to men is skewed, with 53% of the population being women and only 47% men. On average, more than 100,000 single women are available for any foreigner to engage with, even for marriage and building a life in Latvia. Have you ever considered the possibility of finding a wife in this country? Before you provide an answer to this question, let's get to know more about Latvia's women. For centuries, Latvian women have been masters of textile arts, like weaving and embroidery. Using techniques passed down from mother to daughter over generations, their skilled hands create stunning linen masterpieces adorned with intricate folk patterns. You'll see their handiwork proudly displayed in museums, churches, and homes across Latvia. This isn't just artistry, it's a way of life intertwined with their identity. Speaking of identity, the women here have long been the keepers of ancient Baltic folk traditions and pagan nature rituals, even after Christianity became the dominant religion. Despite outside influences, they maintained spiritual traditions tied to the land, the seasons, the cycles of nature, singing haunting Dana's folk songs, weaving garments embedded with symbolic meanings. They've preserved immense cultural memory and wisdom. You know those hearty, delicious Latvian foods like bacon-stuffed pierogi, pickled vegetables, and dark rye breads? Thank the ladies for that too. Passing down recipes from the old days, they expertly use what's provided by the forests and farms surrounding them each season. It's all about living in harmony with their environment and not letting anything go to waste. Even today, you'll find Latvian women heavily involved in cultural activities like the famous nationwide song and dance festivals every 5 years. Gathering by the thousands in brilliant national costumes, they celebrate their intangible heritage through traditions like polyphonic singing and ornate patterned dances. It's an incredibly powerful and moving experience. By now, you're probably thinking about visiting or moving to Latvia, but before you decide, it's important to know how much things cost there. Let's talk about housing first. In the capital city, Riga, renting a one-bedroom apartment can cost between $450 and $700 per month in the city center, or $350 to $600 in the suburbs. Smaller cities have places for $300 to $500 a month, while rural areas are cheaper, around $200 to $400. But prices can change based on where you live and what kind of place you want, so it's a good idea to do some research. Now, let's talk about food. Eating out can be cheap, with street food or casual restaurants charging $6 to $12 per meal. Mid-range places might be $12 to $24, and fancy restaurants can be even more. If you eat out a lot, you might spend $190 to $370 per month. Cooking at home is cheaper, usually $170 to $310 per month. Next, there are other expenses like internet, gym memberships, and clothes. Internet costs $18 to $36 a month, and going to the gym can be $24 to $48 per month. Clothes are affordable, with shirts for $12 to $24 and jeans for $36 to $72. Now let's talk about income. The minimum wage is $660 per month, and the average salary is about $1,960 per month. In the tech industry, new programmers might make $2,000, while experienced ones could earn over $4,550 per month. If you're planning to visit Latvia, a one-way flight ticket costs around $700. So keep these costs in mind when planning your trip or move. Talking about movement, did you know Latvia has a well-developed transportation network that connects the country internally and with neighboring nations? Latvia has an extensive road network of over 73,000 kilometers, with major highways like the A1 via Baltica and A2 via Baltic serving as vital transit corridors. These roads link Latvia with Estonia, Lithuania, Russia, and Belarus. The Latvian railway system, operated by Latvijas Dzelzceļš, covers around 1,260 kilometers of track. The railroad plays a crucial role in both passenger and freight transport, connecting major cities and serving as a transit route between Russia and the ports on the Baltic Sea. The Riga International Airport is the largest airport in the Baltic states and serves as the main aviation hub for Latvia. It offers connections to major European cities and beyond. Other regional airports include Liepāja and Daugavpils. Latvia's strategic location along the Baltic Sea coast provides access to several important ports, with the port of Riga being the largest and busiest. Other significant ports include Ventspils, Liepāja, and Skulte. Within cities, public transportation options include buses, trams, and electric trains. In Riga, the public transport system is well developed, especially in the capital city. Riga is the capital and largest city of Latvia, located on the Baltic Sea coast in the north-central part of the country. With a population of over 600,000, it is not only the economic and cultural center of Latvia, but also a significant hub in the Baltic region. Riga has a rich history, with its origins dating back to 1201 when it was founded as a port city by German merchants. The city's Old Town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is renowned for its well-preserved medieval architecture, including the iconic Riga Cathedral, St. Peter's Church, and the Three Brothers, a trio of residential buildings representing different architectural styles. As the capital, Riga serves as the seat of the Latvian government, hosting the Seima or Parliament, the residence of the President, and various ministries. It is also a major center for education, arts and culture, home to universities, museums, theaters and galleries. Riga's economy is diverse with significant sectors including transportation, logistics, manufacturing, IT, and tourism. The city's strategic location and well-developed infrastructure make it an important transit hub for goods and services in the Baltic region. With its rich history, architectural gems, vibrant cultural scene, and modern amenities, Riga is not only the heart of Latvia, but also a captivating destination for tourists seeking to experience the unique blend of old and new that defines this fascinating city. Latvia's economic journey since regaining independence in 1991 has been nothing short of remarkable. Over the past few decades, the nation has undergone significant transformations, propelling it towards becoming a modern, thriving economy. At the heart of Latvia's economic landscape lies the services sector, which plays a pivotal role, contributing a substantial portion of the country's gross domestic product. Thanks to its climate, Latvia excels at growing certain crops such as barley, wheat, potatoes, and rapeseed. In fact, it stands as one of the leading producers of rapeseed in the entire European Union, making this crop a significant export commodity. Surprisingly, for its northern location, Latvia also boasts a thriving fruit and berry industry, producing apples, raspberries, strawberries, currants, and more. Organic farming practices have gained popularity recently, with around 15% of Latvia's agricultural lands dedicated to organic methods as of 2021, higher than the EU average. This commitment to sustainable, environmentally friendly agriculture is also reflected in Latvia's rich beekeeping traditions. Latvian honey, renowned for its distinctive flavors, serves as another popular agricultural export, showcasing the nation's diversity. Looking to the future, the Latvian government actively promotes eco-friendly farming through various initiatives like precision agriculture, crop rotation, and encouraging renewable energy use on farms. Such efforts demonstrate Latvia's dedication to preserving its agricultural heritage while embracing modern, sustainable practices. Latvia is essentially an undulating plain, with fairly flat lowlands alternating with hills across the country. In the eastern part, you'll find the more elevated areas, like the central Vidzeme upland, which reaches up to around 1,020 feet as the highest point. Down in the southeast corner near Razna National Park is Lielais Liepukalns at 947 feet tall. Head west and you've got the Kurzeme uplands, split into western and eastern sections by the Venta River flowing through the middle. These upland areas bring some nice rolling hills to Latvia's landscapes. Now between those eastern and southeastern uplands lies the East Latvian lowland region. This area has its own unique terrain with moraine ridges crisscrossing and disrupting drainage, resulting in numerous peat bogs scattered throughout. One thing Latvia has no shortage of is rivers and lakes. The biggest river is the Western Divina, locally called the Daugava, spanning over 220 miles within Latvia's borders before draining into the Baltic Sea. But you've also got major waterways like the Gauja, Venta, and Lielupe rivers to admire. Amidst the hills and forests are countless lakes, some measuring up to 12 square miles across. The soils vary across Latvia too. You'll find predominantly podzolic soils, but also calcareous varieties in the Semigalia plain east of the Kurzeme uplands. Swampy soils are common in wetter areas like the East Latvian lowland. Erosion can be an issue in the more intensively cultivated hilly farming regions. Education in Latvia is quite similar to a lot of other European countries. The whole system is managed by their Ministry of Education and Science, and education is mandatory for kids from ages 5 all the way up to 16 years old. Now, early childhood education in Latvia starts super early at just 1.5 years old. In 2020, a whopping 93% of kids between 3 to 5 years were enrolled in preschool programs, which is higher than the average across OECD countries. Once they hit 7 years old, kids begin primary school, which goes from grades 1 to 4. After that, they move into basic education covering grades 5 through 9 when they're between 11 and 16 years old. When basic education is complete, students then have two main options: They can either go for general secondary education in grades 10 to 12 to prepare for university, or they can enroll in vocational education programs to get trained for specific professions and careers. Speaking of higher education, Latvia has quite an impressive university system with both public and private institutions. Some of the big names are the University of Latvia, Riga Technical University, and Latvia University of Life Sciences and Technologies. These places offer bachelor's, master's, and doctoral programs, with the academic year running September through June typically. Most education is conducted in Latvian, but you can also find programs taught in Russian, English, and some other languages, especially at the university level. In recent years, Latvia has really focused on improving the overall quality of their education, updating curriculums, and pushing digital literacy skills. They actually have these education development guidelines laid out from 2021 to 2027 addressing these goals. So in a nutshell, Latvia's education follows the standard European model, but they start them young and have been making strides to modernize and elevate their system across all levels. Religion, spirituality, and culture in Latvia have been influenced by its history of being in the middle of different cultures. Most people in Latvia are Christians, with about 25% being Lutheran and 18% Catholic. Latvian traditions and old beliefs have also affected the spiritual life of the country. People celebrate events like the summer and winter solstices and equinoxes with festivals. One example is the Ligo festival, which happens during the summer solstice. It's a lively celebration with old customs, songs, and dances. Communal gatherings, such as family celebrations, community events, and cultural festivals, are cherished occasions for Latvians to come together, share stories, and reinforce their sense of belonging. These social interactions not only strengthen societal bonds, but also serve as a means of preserving and passing on the rich Latvian traditions to future generations.